In this session, I will talk about TestProject's new AI-powered self-healing technology. It's built into their test recorder. Self-healing means if an element has a change, then the recorder uses AI to simulate human intelligence. It's smart to automatically handle the change, then maintain our test. More information about the self-healing technology can be found on TestProject's blog site. Since TestProject is built on top of Selenium, we have the benefit of having Selenium and AI. Some of the benefits include support for dynamic elements, iFrames, pop-ups, custom attributes, multiple window tabs, adaptive weight, and hovering menu items. I am going to show you how it supports dynamic elements, how to add custom attributes, and how it supports hovering a menu. Also show you the report after running our test script. A dynamic element is an element that has attributes that change after reloading a page. This causes our test script to fail because the element has a new value for each test execution. On this Reddit page, I will enter a full name and ID. However, let's inspect both fields. Do you see how the name attribute has a value that ends with C1C? I'm going to copy and paste the value. I'm going to also inspect the ID field, and we see it ends with the same value. Now, watch what happens when I reload the page. Inspect again, and the value change. Also for ID, it changed. That's what we call a dynamic value because the element has a different value after reloading the page. The ID field and name field are dynamic. Inspect, and we see the name ends with the total different value. FB6. TestProject's recorder is smart enough to use AI and have more than one locator for these type of scenarios. First step is to make sure we are logged into TestProject. Next is to have agent version 64 or higher running. I have version 65, and this green monitor shows my agent is running. Project is called AI self-healing technology. Now let's create a new test. Select web, next. Then the name will be dynamic elements demo. Then click next. Select web application. I'm going to add a new application. Name will be Rediff application. Let me go back to this application and copy the URL and paste it. Then finish. Select next. Record. Now we have two options for record: legacy recorder and start recording. Select start recording. Here's the test recorder. Enter James Jones for the full name and James.Jones in the ID field. Now let's inspect. Move this to the bottom, and I'm going to drag this down a little bit. Inspect the full name field, and we see the value ends with 6272. ID also will end with 6272, and we see right here in the recorder that it ends with 6272. Now I'm going to reload, then inspect again. And we see the value change to end with 22DD. The same for ID. Do you see this search icon? When I hover over the step, if I click it, we see that both values say no matches. I'm going to run and watch what happens. I click run, click it again. All right, go. The expected element in step 2 is missing. Don't worry, TestProject's AI is looking for another path forward. Hold it tight. That's the message we see. It's letting us know, don't sweat. Step 2 was self-healed by TestProject's AI. Your next test run will be lightning fast. Now it's saying the same message for step 3. It is missing, and don't worry. Was self-healed by TestProject's AI. Your next test run will be lightning fast. Now, the message updated to say healed by TestProject's AI. This AI feature works two ways. It works when recording a test and when executing a test. When recording a test, we see this message at the top that says TestProject AI found a better way to locate your elements during recording. After finding a new locator, there's a red X and a green check mark. The red X shows the old value and green check mark is the new value. We can cancel or confirm the changes. Click confirm. These steps, these steps were healed because it shows orange. You see that? And it shows a heart as an icon. Click details and we see no message, element, and a note that says, don't sweat. This step was self-healed by TestProject's AI. Let's go to the step and click edit for this box and click edit element. If we scroll down, we have the option of overriding the suggested locator, removing the generated locator, or add our own locator. Let's change this locator back to the old value and save the element. Back to the test. And now I'm going to show you how the other feature works when using AI. So I'm going to close this test. And let's run. Select the browser, click next, then run. It's taking time right now because it's trying to find the field, the element. It finished. Now let's view the report. When this icon shows up for view report, it's going to be an icon to show up next to this play button. There it is. We see the heart icon indicating the steps were recovered from an error. Expand. And the element details also show how it was healed. Let's take a look at how TestProject's AI feature also deals with custom attributes. Go to Applications. After going to the test, and we see on the left side, Applications. And select this icon for custom attributes. I'm waiting for the tooltip to show up. This feature instructs the recorder to build a locator using an attribute we specify. For example, we can write custom underscore name and maybe a custom ID attribute to uniquely identify an element by setting the locator as default. Next, let me show you how this AI feature works for hovering a menu. There are 6 menu items on this test project page. Platform has sub-menu items that cannot be seen unless we hover over the menu. With Selenium, we must use the Actions class to hover a menu, then select an item from the sub-menu. Our test script will stop executing due to an exception if we do not hover the menu because the sub-menu is not visible. This AI feature, self-healing technology, is different. It will directly interact with the sub-menu by automatically attempting a JavaScript click. Let's create a new test by going to Test and Jobs. Then click New Test. Select Web and click Next. The name will be Hover Test Projects Menu. Then click Next again. Add a new application with Test Projects. The name will be Test Project Application. The URL is https:// I think it's testproject.io as the URL. Click Next, click Record, and we see those options again, and click Start Recording. Hover the platform menu. At this point, we only have one step and no step for hovering the platform. However, when I click Web Test Recorder, the second step shows up. The AI self-healing feature is smart enough to directly click the Web Test Recorder option, although we cannot see it. Let's run this test and see if AI can find Web Test Recorder in the sub-menu. We see the same message. The expected element in step 2 is missing. Don't worry, Test Project's AI is looking for another path. Hold tight. And we see the page, Web Test Recorder. The test passed with the green bar, so we found Web Test Recorder. That's it for AI self-healing technology by Test Project. If you're interested in more videos, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell icon. You can also follow me on Twitter, connect with me on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'll make sure to put the document and test transcript on GitHub. And I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.
Books available in paperback, ebook, and PDF. All Part 1 ebooks and PDF documents are free. Programming books for UFT. Programming books for Java. Here's the Selenium automation book. And TestNG. Subscribe to get notification of future videos. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.